morning, brother. Welcome everybody to Mayhem Monday. So y'all might have seen I went live about 45 seconds ago and didn't realize I actually clicked the live button. I'm kind of sitting. It's a good thing I wasn't like picking my nose or anything, right? I'm sitting here and I look up and it's 2-1, and I'm like, oh my God, I just hit the live button. So we're back for another Mayhem Monday.
Yeah.
To the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly.
And there we go. Daman swoops in for the victory this morning. Good morning, Daman. Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Lisa. That's funny, DJ. So in the corner, I see your picture normal, but in the front, you're stretched. You kind of look like Bert and Ernie with this stretched face.
What is going on? Look at that.
Styling. Brother.
Let me try to back out
to the show. That's all good.
Let me try to back out. It's crazy.
Yeah, no worries. So, how was the weekend, brother? Good?
Okay, man. How about you?
It was great. Got officially put away the tools for the construction zone in the backyard. So I officially put away the tools. I am no longer doing construction for this summer because I actually start my radiation treatment on Thursday. So we're trying to get the last little bit, and it was interesting, right?
Get it done?
Yeah, well, no. I mean, no, there's still a lot to do. I mean, I was expecting to kind of work 3/4 of the summer, right? So I was going to work all the way through July and then kind of have August off. And just with everything going on and all the hospital visits and stuff, haven't really kept up that side of the goal portion of it yet. So, but no, we shut it down because so on Thursday this week, I start radiation treatment, and they're saying, and then I go in on August 9th for a feeding tube. And once the feeding tube's in, I can't go in the pool. So my wife and I kind of talked about it, and instead of working all the way up to it, it's like, let's enjoy the next kind of 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks, and be out there as much as possible and enjoy the work we did. So, but it's funny because, and this brings us to a lesson for today. And I don't know if our Mayhem Monday card scrolling is gonna bring this in, but thanks, Nigel. Nigel says, "Nice palm tree." Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. It's palm. So I've wanted a palm tree for 10 years, and and a lot of people told me 10 years ago, and I was like, I really want a palm tree. Like, well, just go buy one, because I mean, they are like, we got this one for super cheap, but normally they're like $400 or $500. And they said, just go buy one. And when you want something, but you're like, yeah, maybe it's not right, really the right time, or you start giving yourself all these excuses. Well, finally, I'd said, like, with everything going on and with my cancer diagnosis and the next couple of months being a pretty interesting time for me, to say the least. I don't even know what other word to put to it right now. I said, screw it, let's just go get one. And so we negotiated, and my wife is like a master negotiator. So she windled them down. Like I often like to say, my wife gets them to the ground and it keeps kicking until they give in. And I know it's such a horrible way to do it, but she's awesome at what she does. And so we ended up bringing it home. But the one thing about palm trees that I love, right, is they have to shed the old in order for new growth to happen. And it's kind of a metaphor for our life, right? For those of us that live in the past, right? What things failed in the past, and if we live in that zone, we will never progress forward. And you have to shed the past in order to grow forward. Now, it's never saying don't learn from the past. You make a decision that's not a great choice. Well, maybe don't make that choice in the future, or mull it over a little more, rethink of it. Maybe you'll make the same choice with different parameters, and maybe it'll work. But you always got to let go of that past in order to get to the future. And it was a metaphor, and especially, and it's a shame that things like the things that are happening to me have to happen for us to kind of open our eyes and wake up to what's really important in life and what we should really be doing. But nonetheless, it is what it is. It's happening. And it was interesting, DJ, because, as you sit there and you start looking at all of these areas in life, and we started to look at the construction zone. And so just to give everybody reference, last summer in June, mid-June, our contractor walked out because he had messed up the pool and built it 9 inches too high. So which in the end, it was 60 ton of more gravel to be done within a 24-hour period because the guys were coming to pour concrete. So he was like, well, I'm not doing it. And I was like, but you have to do it and you have to pay for it. You built the pool 9 inches too high. And he just disappeared off the face of the earth. So here I was, 24 hours. The guys were coming Saturday morning. This was Friday morning. So I've got friends at a local excavating company. I'm calling them. They're all on job sites. So called my friend at the place that has all the material. And she was awesome enough to get us material delivered. Called another buddy of mine at a rental place. We rented a BX, which is like a mini tractor, and then a Kubota BX. And in 24 hours, my wife and I moved the 60 ton, leveled everything, got it ready, built the tubes for all the poles and everything. And we literally like pushed this out to the point where it was about 11 o'clock at night, and I've got like big spotlights trying to level the rocks in front of the pool area. So it was pretty intense. And from that point forward, it was nonstop. Like I was supposed to only build the cabana. So in essence, what happened is like 785 bags of concrete later, close to 62 hours in the concreting the pool, getting everything ready. The concrete went down, and the pool came, and it actually ended up coming together. The liner was totally off. We made the liner fit. Jimmy, the liner, made it fit. But you go so long, right? And I'm getting to the point of this story here, so just bear with me, everybody, please. You go so long, and like you're working so hard, and it looks like incremental gains. And the biggest aha moment for me, and again, DJ, how many times do we often say when you're in the eye of the storm, you sometimes don't see the full perspective, right?
Oh, yeah.
And over the last 2 weeks, we've been doing finishing touches, the fascia, the nose boards to create the look, the timbers inside, the trim around. And it's insane how it goes from a construction site to a finished product. And all of you that have done construction or carpentry or anything like that will know that feeling. And it's like something as simple as you got plain wood that's been sanded and you put one coat of Varathane on it, and it's like it's a bar, right? You got a counter and you put one coat of Varathane on it after sanding, and oh my God, it's a counter. It's no longer just a chunk of wood sitting on top of a frame. Like it's a counter. And it taught me another great lesson that I think we all know, but we forget. In life, in business, you're pushing forward every day and you're doing stuff every day, and it feels like there's such incremental changes. And that one day when you step forward, everything comes together. And if you give up before that day, you lose 3 feet from gold, right? And it's, I think back to the conversation. It's funny because the universe has a way of bringing everything together, right? And
yes, it does.
I think of some of the conversations we've had on the show. It does. I think of the conversations I've had with Daman, with the Bridger crew, with Lisa, with Chad, with Ryan, with all these amazing people, with like Brian Biro and Steve Rizzo and all Jeff and all these and Mark and all these amazing people that we're privileged to speak to every day, that I call mentors, that truly help bring ourselves to another level. And Ryan said something last week. He goes, you got to climb and lift at the same time. Lift others around you when you're climbing. And it's something that I'm starting to pay attention to more, right? Whereas before, it's like, okay, you have goals, you have dreams, you have desires, you have ambitions, you drive forward and you put your head down and you just bolt through everything. And if there's a mountain in front of you, we'll help blast right through the damn thing and build a tunnel to help other people behind you not have to climb, right? And it's all great analogies and the quotes and everything, and it's great. When you really see it come together, it's like, holy crap. Like, this is amazing. And I bring that all to this point. Saturday night, my son and his girlfriend were here. I mean, it was my wife and I, and the four of us sat down, and at the bar, this is the day that all the tools got put away. Like, it was officially shut down. It is enjoyment time for the rest of the summer. Now, there's still work to do. Don't get me wrong. but it was like, I haven't felt that ease like that in over a year and a half. And we had such a great time, brother. Such a great time. Like, it was so much fun. And we were just playing blackjack. Like, we were just,
Oh,
we have
that's awesome.
I have a big thing of chips, and we just like all got chips, and we were playing blackjack, and we're having fun with it. Like, I lost, and my wife's like, "Do you want me to lend you some money?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And she's lending me some money. I go, "I owe it back to you." And it's like, we're really having a really fun time enjoying ourselves. And I woke up yesterday morning going, that was like, if that's the fun we have, all this pain, stress, torn meniscus, carpal tunnel, like, getting surgery, everything I'm going through is worth it. And
Yeah.
everything we've been through is worth it, because it just adds a next level, right? When we turned the fire bowls on for the first time, it was like, oh my God, right? Like, it's like you're a kid and you're like freaking out. You're like, this is so freaking cool, man. Like, yeah, and, I don't know. It was awesome. I apologize. I know it's 11 minutes in and I don't even know if I've taken a breath yet, but
No
it
worries,
was
dude.
so cool, brother.
I
Yeah.
love that you shared that. That reminds me of, and I think we talked about it maybe way in the beginning of doing our shows, but the story of the bamboo. I mean, that's what I love.
Mm.
Absolutely love the story of the bamboo. I mean, it's a weed that grows somewhere that really, I mean, a weed here has no value, but a weed there, I mean, look, it's turned into flooring and everything else. But what's crazy
Mhm.
is, I mean, it's a tree that grows underground for something like 6 or 8 years. You never even
Mm.
see it until all of a sudden, poof, it's 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
It's
So
crazy.
you nurture it, and
Yeah.
you curate it, and you nurture it, and you bring it to life
Yeah.
over a long period of time. But it's not, and that, you're right, because that one thing about bamboo was, it's not even like when you plant a seed for like tomato plants or something. There's a little thing or grass seed, right? There's a little
Yeah.
thing that, and all of a sudden starts counting up. You're like, oh my God, it's working. It's like, it's not working for the longest time, and then I think they say within like 3 weeks, it becomes full 12-foot high bamboo. Like, it just
Yeah. So
catapults out of the ground.
Oh, it's insane. It's insane. But
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, right along with I agree. I agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
if
So
you're go ahead.
it's been quite a, it's been quite a venture, but it's also, a really cool experience too.
Oh yeah.
So that would be the kind of the message is for all y'all. If you're out there, I mean, listen, we understand sales today is tough, man. Like, it's tough, and it's like, where do you add goodwill? Where, I was watching a presentation this morning, and they were talking about before the line and after the line, and what's the
Mm,
line.
mm,
And this guy is like one of the best marketers in the planet, and he says, here's the thing: is, before the line, it's your social ad, your social posts, all this kind of stuff. After the line is like, you've been to my web page, you like my product, I'm going to show you a demo, I'm going to sell you on the product, I'm going to sell you the one-time offer, the second one-time offer, the 4 trillion one-time offers after you buy the
yeah.
initial product,
Yeah.
because here's the initial product, it's 60% complete, but if you pay me an extra $600, you can get all the other 4 pieces, that's going to make it 100% complete. And he's like, it's all BS. He says, like, here, before the line, what's the goodwill you're putting in the market?
Yeah.
Right? So this show is before the line, because we're not saying go out and buy anything we have. We're saying, here's facts, reality. Here's some really cool people. Here's some really interesting people in the industry. Here's some great, cool strategies and techniques and all these other frameworks and stuff to help you move along.
Yeah.
But also, there's have you ever thought of this? Have you ever thought of that? Have you ever thought of this? What about this? And us sharing our personal stories, I think, really helps the audience realize that everybody goes through this stuff, right? Everybody does. I mean, everybody has the same thoughts of,
Hmm.
shit, is this really working? Like, geez, like, oh man, am I, do I value? Do I matter? And these are some of the thoughts I had as a salesperson for years. Like,
Hmm.
am I really good at this? Or did I kind of just luck into it? And then when you get the business, it's like, oh my gosh, how do I run this business? Like, I'm a failure because I would lose customers, and I'm a failure because I
Yeah.
would run businesses, or I'd run my business and I'd be like reselling my business every 6, 9, 12 months
It,
because I
it,
wouldn't take care of the customers.
Isn't that crazy how we can do that though? I mean, it's this right here, but we're the same person. So you said losing your business, but you're the same person that created the business. So
Mm-hmm.
you see what I'm saying? But like this, all of a sudden it's like, how did I lose that? Well, what does it matter? I got it the first time. Like that's how, but it's just a constant battle, y'all. It's a constant battle.
It's crazy. It's insane. It's insane. And
Uh,
anyways, so that's kind of the let me just get the we haven't even, geez, we're 15 minutes in. We're
yeah, we're
almost ready
15.
for lane of the day.
I was going to say, do we have a
So
dad?
hold on. We possibly, but we'll go to some comments. I don't think I saw one actually this morning, but we'll see. I'll text Dean. So Dr. Jennifer Marquez says, Dan, wishing you success with your treatment. Thank you so much. Thank you. Really, really, really appreciate that. It's
That you got.
yeah, it's it kind of is becoming real. And I
Mm,
don't want to dismiss anyone that has had cancer and gone through the treatment or anything, but it's, and maybe y'all, if any of y'all have had something similar happen, it's for the last month and a half, I guess, to almost 2 months of diagnosis. Um, it's kind of, and because it's in my throat, every time I swallow, I remember what's happening to me.
mm,
But on Friday last week, when the lady from Princess Margaret called us and started talking about like what to expect 3 weeks down the road, 4 weeks down the road, and everything, it got real, and it was probably one of the most emotional times in my life, because it's like, oh, okay, like this is, and again, don't get me wrong, I'm again, it's not terminal. Thank the Lord. Like I've had, my brother had terminal cancer when I was 30 and he was 32. I lived through somebody I loved dearly dying at a way too early of an age.
mhm.
Um, and that's, that it's funny because these things in life, as horrible as they are, I often find they also give you gold nuggets. And I don't want to diminish
Mm,
anything. Like I love my brother to death, but I also, it taught me that, love now, right? Because he's your brother, right? He's like, don't get me wrong. I had
yeah.
many battles with my brother, right? Like we all do. But it's like
Oh yeah.
when they go, it's, I wish I never did that. I wish, you know what I mean? But it was part of the growing, it was part of nurturing, it was part of life. And I can say that it's become real. And you know, I know I've shared with a couple of you kind of the picture of my dashboard of my health network that I'm in for my, and it's like it's overwhelming as hell. And the lady's talking to us, and we got like an hour and a half drive there every day and an hour and a half drive home.
Mm,
So we're 3 hours of driving every day to get there. And she's talking about, staying downtown and all these other, and it's like all these other things. And it's like so much information gets thrown at you.
mm,
And thank the Lord, I have my wife, my soulmate, the love of my life, honey, with me, because I'm picking up 5, maybe 10% of what everyone's saying, because my brain is just like, oh my God. Like I still, as I sit here again, it's like, I don't know. I don't even know what the feeling is. Like I'm numb to everything. Do you know what I mean? If
mm.
that makes sense. And I don't know if it does, but
You're
so thank
just
you. I
in it.
appreciate that. It's,
You're,
yeah.
you're in it right now. You're in it,
Yeah.
and
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah. And it's like, again, it's scary as hell.
mm,
Um, like no sugarcoating it. It hurts like hell. On the weekend, we decided we're going to order food on Saturday night, and so the four of us can just stay outside. Nobody has to cook. And I'm a huge General Tao chicken fan, like huge. And we got this faux Aaron, like faux Asian cuisine in town. But the only way to eat it is spicy. Like the only way to eat it is spicy.
yeah,
And
yeah.
and I can't eat spice because it makes the
Uh,
tumor real angry, like real angry.
oh,
And I said, no, I'm going spice. And my
I
wife's like, are you
know.
sure? I go, listen, like if and so we found also that on the call on Friday, just to add context to it, when they put the feeding tube in, they say like usually within the first 3-4 weeks, everybody that goes through this has to use the feeding tube. Like I thought it was
Mm,
precautionary just in case, and like no, there will probably be days where I can't speak, where most of the time I'm going to be holding up signs, and DJ will have to read it so everybody on the podcast can actually hear it. So we're gonna have to pull some audibles, brother. But I know Jeff's
Audible
ready
City,
and
we
willing
can
to
do
jump
it.
in anytime. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, you know what? I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be a great experiment. I think we're gonna learn a lot about each other through the process. I think we're gonna learn a lot about the audience through the process. And it's just everything is learning, everything's growing, everything's becoming a better individual, better today than you were yesterday, and continue like that. I mean, even if you just take one step towards the right direction every day, your life
That's
will be
right.
fulfilled 100%. And so it's that. So I decided as of Friday, I'm bulking up. So what I mean by that is I don't care how much pain I'm in. I'm eating everything I want to eat, because I have a feeling there'll be, and we just found out the feeding tube is probably going to have to stay until the end of December, because they said it's not just after the treatment, like it's months after the treatment before the swelling comes down and all this kind of stuff. So it's real interesting as you get further into it. And again, I don't want to minimize anything by saying it's interesting. It's my own vocabulary to keep myself sane and not completely break down and cry on the show. But it's interesting how we're gonna have to we adjust in life to things, right? And everyone we speak to, like even Jeff is, Dan, it's you got it, man, you got it. In the end, it's all gonna be worth it, And Damon and I have had many conversations about it. Like in the end, it's all gonna be worth it, and I know that.
Yeah.
But I have to consistently tell myself, you're looking inside the eye of the storm. Step back, step back, step back. And it's friggin' tough. I mean, I don't know how many years I've been saying to people, get out of the storm, like get out of the eye of the hurricane and look back. And it's like, and it's easy in certain parts of your life. And then there's other parts of your life that are majorly consuming. And with that statement comes another one. What's easy for you, DJ, might be totally consuming for somebody else.
Yes.
And I think that's the part as salespeople we tend to not pay attention to, right? And I mean that
absolutely
in the most authentic and personal way, because our customers sometimes are going through things we might never be able to imagine. And how do we honor what they go through? Right? Like, how do we honor just the entire process? How do we honor their ability to make things happen? How do we honor their wishes without thinking we're being blown off? Right? I mean, these are all like crazy ideas, but we have them, and we're you know what I mean? It's insane. It's insane.
It is.
Dude, I don't know. I don't know if we're actually going to get to any of this, because we got like 8 minutes left, and I didn't aim for today to go that route. But I guess it is a conversation, right?
I think there was a lot of lessons. Listen, but Dan, I think there's a lot of lessons even in this. I mean, not obviously your thing is very scary, but there are some even sales reps. There's some people who are new to this industry, new to cold calling. I mean, the same fear that you're feeling, they feel just trying to pick up the phone to call somebody. Like all of a sudden, death is on the other end of the phone, and again, I think that it's very paralyzing. To fear is is something that, like you said, when we're in it, it's this very scary, dark place, that it feels like going into a room with no lights on, and you don't know where the light switch is, and all of a sudden you're just like feeling, and you feel that panic start to rise. I think that's fear, in its greatest form for every way, though, from just doing something simple of making a phone call. That can paralyze us to beyond degree to, obviously this is very scary and this is very real, but again, it's life.
That perspective and that analogy is so bang on, DJ. In a dark room, you have no idea where the light switch on. Fear and panic set in. As soon as the light switch turns on, it's like it's gone, instantly gone. Instantly it's gone. It's like, okay, I know where I am now. I almost broke my toe on that chair, but I know where I am now, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
That's a great way of putting it, brother. Great way of putting it.
Thank you, man.
Tyler says, not a mistake till you make it twice. You taught me that when I was 20. Laugh out loud. When I sent 2 trucks to pick up for 1 load. Yes, and Tyler's awesome, buddy. So Tyler and I go way back, and Tyler actually started in the industry when I was managing a department of new reps coming in to help train them and stuff. And that was one of the biggest things for me. Was it's never a mistake, because especially when we first get in this industry, we're all going to screw up. Now, if you send 2 trucks into the same pickup 4 or 5 times in a row, then yeah, come on, smart enough. But
yeah.
Tyler, I'm glad you remember that, brother. You know, this is
I love
this
it, Tyler.
is when DJ, remember when we talk about legacy points? Where like everything you put out, it's going to help somebody and it's going to change the way they think. And that changing of the way they think will then in turn change somebody in their life, will in turn change somebody there. And it's going to go all the way down the road. And that's a legacy point, because it's something that's fairly simple, but it's something that so many people
we leave those everywhere too. No, nobody even understands, but we leave those everywhere.
Everywhere. It's so cool. Awesome. Nigel says, you guys should be very proud you created a great community. Thanks, Nigel. We're going to get you back on, actually, probably in the next week or two. So
we're just talking about you, Nigel.
Yeah. Don't second guess your abilities. 100%. Daman says, life has a way of throwing situations that are meant to make us grow, help us evolve throughout our life journey. 100%. I love that.
Everything.
That is so key. Then you're going to come out the other side with a much stronger, different perspective on life. Listen to yourself. Your powerful words for others will be exactly what you will learn on. 100%. And, you know, it's always easier to give advice than to take the advice, right? We all know that, right?
Oh,
that's why
yeah,
they say
absolutely.
those who can't
we have
teach.
the answers. We have the answer for everybody else's problems. We just don't know any of our own damn answers. That's the
and
problem.
when it comes to us, we just have a sign on the wall that says "bang head here," and it all seems to work out. And we just bang. But for everybody else, it's like, oh no, there's a framework for that, and there's a strategy, and you go through this strategy, and you're gonna get right. And it's like, okay, stop. How do you do it yourself, and how do you manage it yourself, and walk the talk, right? And that's what I think is very cool. Scott says, good morning, came in so late, so I have to catch whatever is going on. Don't forget about the power of positive thinking. Learn from everything. Absolutely. That's a beautiful thing, Scott. I think if you come in 5 minutes and then the next 5 minutes, you're going to know what we talked about in the last 5 minutes, because it seems to just be this ever revolving circle. But it's beautiful because it's a confidence competence loop that we continually work inside this show. That was
what a show,
whirlwind, brother.
That was fun. Thank you for sharing that. I'm glad you got deep into that. I think that was a great. Obviously, you're going through something scary, and I think you try to make light of it the way you are, and just like Mark and Jeff says, I mean, you're strong, so you'll make it through it. I have no doubt, like Jeff says as well. But I think you make light of it. Again, at the end of this, it should be as scary as you're feeling, because you're going to survive this, but you're still then a cancer-free survivor of this. So like it's the word is still there. The word is with you always now. And you got it, bro.
And I promise not to make every show about it, because I also think there's a lot of goodwill we have to put forward. It's just it kind of, and again, the intention was, let's get on a really cool, value ladder or some really cool strategy, and it just never turned out that way. So,
no worries.
You know what? We are blessed to be in this industry. We're blessed with the people around us. We're blessed with having a community. We're blessed with all of this in the logistics industry. And you know what? And here's the thing, like, even if y'all sitting there right now saying, well, I don't have a community, there's everybody out there that's willing to help. And it's the one beautiful thing. And I know it's like that in most communities is, the people that quote unquote are at the top that understand what it really takes to make a beautiful career, a beautiful life. They're always willing to help.
Oh yeah.
And they're always willing to put in the time. So my last message to everybody is, if you need anything, like if you just need an ear, reach out to somebody in your network, reach out to somebody you admire, tell them how much you admire them, tell them why you admire them, and ask them for some advice. Because, you might be listening to the show and you might say, yeah, that's all good, Dan and DJ, and that's great. The person that you admire or the person you reach out to might say exactly what we're saying in a different way. If you look at some of the major influencers in the world, and you take Gary Vee, for example, right? Like, most people know Gary Vaynerchuk, and he will be the first one to say, I speak about 5 things. I just talk about each of these things in like 20, 30 different ways. Because eventually somebody's going to get it. Bob Proctor, one of the greatest personal development, motivational, and just business coaches on the planet, often said, none of what I teach is mine. Like I didn't come up with any of this. It's from all the books I read. And I gleaned that one from Napoleon Hill, and I gleaned that one from, Mark Victor Hansen. I gleaned that, from Tony Robbins. And he says, like, I took all this information. I said, this is the best of everything, and put it together to show you a way to do things. And it's all regurgitation. You look at music today, 99% of the beats are what we used to listen to when we were kids. When we were kids, our parents said that's what we used to listen to when we were kids. You know what I mean?
It makes me crazy. The new artist fighting the beats. Like, how are you not going to copy a beat at this point? Like, come on, y'all. There's only so many ways you can make up. But again, you're so right. You are spot on.
Yeah. But it's everything comes full force, right? Like in every world, it's like everything comes back. Like you look at some of the styles that come back, and everything's come back.
Yes.
So it's this cycle that we have to work in. And right now, we're in a very specific cycle in logistics where it's tough. It's real tough. Last year it was, if you had a truck, you had business, right? This year it's like, okay, things are kind of the waters, the waves are settling. And people are less likely to jump to, for what reason? What am I getting out of this new relationship? What am I getting out of the extra time, energy, and effort? And we spoke about this many times when it comes to summer vacation. Like, right now, end of July, coming into August, very few deals are going to be done unless it's something spectacular. So the question is, what are you going to do to be spectacular? Right? That's the question. Ask yourself, how can I be 10 times more spectacular today than I was yesterday? And eventually you'll start getting the answers.
Yes. Yes,
That's
sir.
It. Lesson.
All right. That's it.
He says, Daman says, we can persevere through it. Sales does get better. Life does get better. Hang in there. Your break thoughts will come. You will persevere and don't give up. Great words for everyone to live by, Daman. Great words, my man. All right. What do we got today, DJ? Did that dude, if you picked a quote out of the sky for that total route we took today,
so I will tell you, I've been loving my Zig Ziglar, shout out Zig, but my Zig Ziglar planner, has all these quotes. So I did pick one today. Before we even started, I just liked the quote, honestly. But I think you'll enjoy it. But thank you to everybody who joined us today, and for the community we have created, guys. It's like I said, the fear of being in that dark room. It's a lot easier if you have even just one person in there finding the switch with you. But imagine a whole community finding that switch with you. Again, thank you to everybody for making this possible. All you guys watching, all of your comments, all your great words. Daman, shout out. American Logistics, Centurion Trucking. Sales Chatter Live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m., 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Start your day right with us. Get it in the right gear. This is from Zig, the man, the myth, the legend. I love this guy. The more you express gratitude for what you have, the more you will have to express gratitude for.
Such a good one.
Centurion Trucking, our motto is people before profit. Today's market requires more transparency, consistency, and focus on what our clients need to win. Centurion Trucking and American Logistics are poised to help their clients achieve and surpass their targets. If you're looking for a team that honors your needs, dreams, and aspirations, then get a hold of Daman at American